this me that's deciding and constructing these thoughts? Where is it?
Well, that's it. Then it is nowhere.
Yeah. Then what do you realize?
Well, it's nature that made it that way.
Well, that's a concept. Look, all you could say is thoughts are just happening.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm getting confused with my thoughts being different from the neighbors. So there is a specificity in that.
All right. Tell me what a thought is.
Well, they're words.
That's not telling me what a thought is. What's a thought?
It's a bunch of words transmitting an idea.
Is that it? Like, I want you. Is that it? That's what a thought is. A bunch of words transmitting an idea. That's a thought. I'm not saying you're wrong, but like, can you hear what you just said?
Or rather,
I'm not laughing at you.
Putting words on, it's like putting words on something that happens.
Yeah, but what is a thought?
I don't know.
How come? You've been having them your whole life. What do you mean you don't know?
Well, I thought I knew with that definition, but apparently that's not it.
Well, does it sound right?
It does to me.
So let's go back to who's creating the thought?
No, well, the one or nature or the absolute.
Good. So where does that leave you?
Nowhere. Yeah, that's what I was trying to be saying when I said that there's.
Where does it leave you?
You mean as Geraldine, as an supposed entity?
Well,
nowhere.
Good.
It doesn't exist.
Good. So where does that leave you?
Being all the rest.
You've just identified, yeah, the Geraldine, yeah, and what that is. And where does that leave you?
Yeah, being that force that makes it happen.
That sounds like a very dualistic answer to me. Where does it leave you? Where?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's this?
What's this?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
What's the experience of here? What's this?
What, consciousness? Being present?
You're experiencing it. You're experiencing. See, at the moment, there's still conceptual ideas floating around at the moment. That's why you're having trouble pinning it down.
Yeah.
In your direct experience, you're here, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that. What's going on here?
There are things happening.
That's interesting.
Not getting it.
You're not getting it.
Yeah.
That's because it's still the mind trying to get it.
Yeah.
What do you need the mind for? Are you here?
I'm here.
Right. Explore that. Not with the mind, in your direct experience. What is this experience of here-ness? What is this? It's overlooked. What I'm pointing to now is overlooked. It's always overlooked because the mind steps in and it has questions about it, and the mind tries to grasp it or get it or makes up a concept about it. In your direct experience, now, here, what's going on here? What's this? What is this?
Life? Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. See, mind is still trying to come up with an answer.
Yeah.
You don't need it. I'm not after an answer. I'm literally not after an answer. Any answer you gave me, I would automatically know, hey, that's still mind responding. It's rhetorical. What is this? If the mind goes quiet, now you're inquiring. If the mind surfaces, there's no inquiry into that you actually are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the direct experience. Direct. 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 One of the first things you start to notice when you truly go here, senses start to open up. Seeing changes somewhat. Hearing changes somewhat. The senses start to become alive. Why? Because you're here and only here. You're no longer watching the movie. You've now lost interest in the movie. You've now lost interest in mind, thoughts. Just lost interest. From here, yeah. Watch the mind scrambling. Watch it. Watch it. Observe it.
I'm so attached to it.
No, that's the mind. That's the mind that said that. There is no you that's attached to it. It's not. See that? I'm so attached to it. The mind just threw that up.
Makes it impossible to.
Say it.
It seems. I feel like I'm in a catch-22 situation.
Explain that. Explain that. Explain that. How's that?
There's nothing I can do. To understand what you're pointing to.
Now what?
The feeling is that, my feeling is I can only work it out with my mind.
Yeah.
I haven't ever used any other tool.
Jesus, it's funny. Look. Just what the mind does. You gotta see it. Mind's trying to work it out. Are you conscious right now?
Yep.
What's there to work out?
Sorry?
What's there to work out?
Yeah. It all goes by itself. So there's nothing to work out.
Do you need mind to know you are conscious?
I don't.
You don't? You sure about that?
I'm sure.
Good. Good. Then just abide as that. Leave mind behind.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it alone. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you right now? Here. Are you conscious? Yes. Are you aware? Yes. Are you being? Yes. Stay with that. Sensate it if you like. Feel into it if you like. This is where you find yourself. This is where you find yourself. Here. And then watch the mind say, well, here ain't so flash. Is this it? Is like, really? Is this it? The mind will say that. It will say that. It says it for everybody.
Thoughts are more appealing.
Are they though? But are they? Oh, come on. Are they though? Shit. Really? Most of them aren't. Most thoughts aren't appealing.
I find they are.
You find most thoughts are appealing.
No, I'm saying it's like a constant attraction.
Yeah, good. Okay. So what's attracted to the thoughts?
Attention.
And what says there's attraction to thoughts?
Thoughts.
Yeah. If you want to section it off, the mind. You're not in there. It's not talking about you. You're not in there. It's not talking to you. You're not talking to it. You're not in there. It has nothing to do with you. Zero. Now, what doesn't want to let go? The mind. It's not you that doesn't want to let go.
But
You're
if the mind are only thoughts, how can thoughts want something or don't want something? How can the thoughts don't want to get there?
Good question. Good question.
Yeah.
Good question.
That's what you just said. Thoughts.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah.
If a thought can't experience anything, what could it ever have? What could it ever get? What could it ever acquire?
Well, the thought itself, nothing.
So what would
sorry.
acquire? That's okay. What would acquire? What would get? Good. What? What happened then? What's happening right now? What happened?
No. I'm stuck.
Stuck.
Seems to not go any further.
There is a point where you can't go any further with the mind. Yeah? It's like it gets snookered. See. There's the mind, but there's all the everyday thoughts that go on in the mind all day long, right? Would it be fair to say, Geraldine, that they're relatively easy to notice? Like you're aware of it, that there are thoughts that just kind of rattle on all day. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Now there's a particular pattern of thought that I'm trying to get you to see. And that particular pattern of thought that I'm trying desperately to get you to see is the me thought, the I thought, the my, me, this, I want, I'm doing. Or even I'm aware of the thoughts that happen throughout the course of the day. All of that is still a pattern of thoughts that arises in the mind. And it's saying, I exist. I am Geraldine. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I want this, I don't want that, I don't. It's just a pattern of thoughts. All arising in the mind, along with all the other stuff that goes on in there. Now, that particular pattern of thought that arises and says, I am Geraldine, is not who you are. For a start, it's just a pattern of thought. And those thoughts, I am Geraldine, those thoughts are just referring to thoughts, not an entity.
That you mean the envelope to all of those thoughts is also a thought.
Yes. Very good. Yes. Yes. Now, come to see that. Just come to see that.
That's crazy. That's really crazy.
Now come to see it. Yeah. 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 It's funny, actually. Come to see that.
It's really fundamental. It's
yes.
radical.
Yes. Until you come to see that, you're going to continue taking yourself to be the Geraldine pattern of thoughts. And you're not that. You're aware of the Geraldine pattern of thoughts, providing you can see the Geraldine pattern of thoughts, not all the other thoughts that occur all day long. The personal thoughts that arise. Yeah. When am I going to get this? I wish the mind would shut up. What did Terry mean when he said blah, blah, blah? Doesn't make any sense. Or whatever. Whatever. It's that seeming personal I, my, me, mine. That pattern of thoughts, that needs to be seen for what it is. Yeah. That's why I use the pointer, the amnesia pointer. If I created amnesia in you, Geraldine disappears. What does that tell you about who and what Geraldine is? A pattern of thoughts. And yet if we did that, yeah, created amnesia, which is like just, it erases your whole history. Gone. Don't know who you are. Don't know your name. Don't know if you've got kids. Don't know if you're married, divorced. You don't know when, you don't know. You just don't know who you are. You look in the mirror, you don't recognize the face. Whoa, imagine. You look in the mirror, you don't recognize the face. Who am I? Where would you find yourself in that moment? Right here. That whole identity drops away. All of it just drops away because it's just a product of the mind. Yeah. What would be left? If I did that to you now, created amnesia in you right now, and it all just disappeared, what would be left?
Life.
It's this that I'm trying to get you to realize. And it's right here, right now. Never gone anywhere, never been anywhere, always been here. So familiar. Oh.
How do you make a distinction between knowledge, like knowing how to speak and so on and so forth, and who you are? Because who you are is, how come you don't lose the ability to speak?
You
how come you don't lose the ability to speak?
How come you
Speak
don't
language.
lose, how come you don't lose the ability to speak?
Yep, to use language.
Because there was never anybody, there was never a person there that was using language or speaking in the first place. It just happens.
It's because of that amnesia thing. I'm confused.
Okay, so I probably should be clearer there. When I say amnesia, I'm not talking about to the point where you're just kind of sitting there like you've had a lobotomy.
Yeah, yeah. But then I'm trying to.
Yeah. I'm just talking about personal self. Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can still speak, you can still communicate. Yeah. Personal self's now gone. And what have we erased? Thoughts. Memory. What does that tell you in relation to what this seeming personal self is? Yeah.
But then, stupid question, but like, how? No,
None of
it's
them
just stupid.
stupid.
Sorry?
No question stupid.
It's really stupid. How come you, let's say you go to work in the morning, you come back home, how come you remember you still love your wife, or you see her again? It's all new every moment. I mean, but it's a stupid question, but yet, yeah.
You won't like the answer. You won't know that until the identification with this stops.
Yeah.
Right. Every time I turn up here, I know everybody, everyone's name and who I'm speaking to. But I'm not speaking to a person when I'm sitting here. Never am. Why would I not speak to a person?
They don't exist.
Pretty good.
As such.
That's a good start. Yeah. There's no one there. There's no person there. So who the hell am I speaking to then?
To life happening.
Say that again.
To life happening.
Still objectifying it. The mind is still objectifying it to life happening as though it's a thing. Spot your mind doing that. There's two things happening, Geraldine. Yeah. One's real and one's false. Yeah. The mind and what it's throwing up is false. This that's actually here sitting here with me now and hearing is real. But the mind is saying, I am this.
Yeah.
And the mind can't know this. All it has is concepts, beliefs, assumptions, ideas about this. And then the concepts, beliefs, ideas, and assumptions are then taken to be this. That's why the mind will go, is this it? Really? Like, is this it? Please tell me there's more than this. The mind can't experience this. It has concepts and ideas about this. And then goes about trying to improve the concepts and ideas about this, gain more knowledge. Eventually, when I know enough, me will see, me will wake up. Me is mind, Geraldine is mind. It's just a concept in mind. You're not that. You're not that. And you need to come to see you are not that. You need to come to see that. Until you do, we're convinced we are that. I am here. There is a Geraldine here, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And whilst that's at play, that you actually are remains hidden. Mind or thoughts is just a veil over that you actually are. That's all. See that. See that. You can. You totally can see that. It can be seen. What's actually happening can be seen.